Hi everyone. Um I'm back. So this is a little story time as to why I've been on hiatus from my YouTube channel. The last thing I was doing was my weight gain journey where I was eating to try to gain weight. During that series, things kind of took a turn for the worst. So basically I had been having these stomach issues now for about a year and a half, 2 years. They finally did an endoscopy in February, which showed that I had ulcers. So they put me on a 14-day antibiotic to hopefully clear up the ulcers and, you know, make everything back to normal. During the antibiotic, my iron was already low. I wasn't eating. I would go maybe a day or two without eating because I was scared of the effects of what it would have on my stomach. And I was also getting full extremely, extremely fast, like after just like a few bites. So during taking the antibiotics, I got diarrhea. And it was getting worse. During this period, I also during this period, it had been suggested for me to see a more holistic doctor. Basically a whole holistic doctor. So they did some blood work on me, and the levels came back for everything pretty much really, really low. My iron, I was severely anemic. I was always cold, always tired, didn't have any energy, very fatigued. My sugar was low, my potassium was low, my calcium was low, my vitamin D was low, my B12 was low. Everything was below the levels that it should be. Also during this time, I'm still not eating the way I'm supposed to be eating. I'm not having any energy to do anything. I'm barely having the energy to go to work. I go to work, I come home, and I just want to get into bed. There's no cleaning going on. There's no nothing. I'm getting home, taking a shower, and getting into bed because I just don't have the energy to do anything else. I'm just exhausted, fatigued. My stomach isn't right. I have this diarrhea going on. So not too long after that, I was speaking to my mom, and I was telling her that, I was thinking about, because I feel like this is the worst that I have ever been, regarding how I'm feeling and my health wise. I told her that I was thinking about taking some time off from work. I had talked to the HR and everybody, and I was getting stuff together. And, once your hours have depleted, you're not getting paid anymore. So that was going to be a financial burden, something that I have to think about. And so because of how I was feeling, because I know my levels was low, I wasn't stable, I was wobbly when I was walking. This was a Tuesday or a Wednesday, I believe. I was telling my mom that I would go to the ER, but I would go on Friday, so that would give me a little bit more time so I wouldn't have to take hours away from my sick leave. Because if I go Friday after work, no hours are taken away, then I'll have the weekend, and then we could start Monday. After telling my mom like how I was feeling, not being stable, not being able to walk, not being able to walk, but just unstable when I walk. Then she touched me. I had a fever, and she was like, "Let's go now." This was March 11th. That was the best decision that could have been made for me at that time, because I don't know what would have happened if I did not go. And I was fighting her on it. I was like, Ma, let me go Friday so I don't have to use, so I can have save some type of hours, because my hours were already not a lot. I already have a lot of doctor's appointments that I have to go to. So my sick hours were already low. So I'm trying to save whatever I can save. And she's like, no, you're hot, you have a fever, you're telling me you're walking unstably, and you're not feeling well. We're going now. When I tell you, I am so glad that I listened to her. It was the best decision I could have made for myself at that time. So we get to the hospital. The waiting room is packed. It's packed. But they're moving fast. So we get there, we do the whole triage thing. They tell me I have a fever. They give me Tylenol. At this point, I think I'm like at 98 pounds, which is the lowest. If anybody knows me, I've always been a thick girl. I don't like the way that I look like now. I don't like this size that I am now. And I'm looking forward to gaining my weight back. So they take me in, we go into the ER. They hook me up to everything. They're taking blood, of course, doing the normal stuff. They're concerned about the fever. So they, and they're also concerned about the diarrhea, because the diarrhea at this point is like severe, like accident severe. That might be a little bit TMI, but guys, please forgive me if I get a little emotional doing some of these. I think that was the only one, because it was such a good decision. Yeah. So they're concerned about the diarrhea. They're concerned about the fever. So I was in the ER, guys, for almost 24 hours. The hospital was so packed. I had to wait for a bed. So when I went to the ER, it was my first time not actually going into one of the actual ER rooms. It was like, when you're on the side of like the nurses station type thing. I was in there for a while, and then eventually they moved me into the one at the ER rooms. We got there around 7 o'clock, March 11th, and didn't get a room till like 7 o'clock, 7:30 the next night. So they're doing cultures, they're doing stool cultures, they're doing blood cultures, they're doing blood work, the whole 9 yards. I finally get a room. My room, single room, great view, big room, happy about my room. So they're still treating me. The fever's going away, but it's coming back. So they're like, I have an infection somewhere. They're treating me for my levels. They're giving me, of course, the salt water. I can't remember the medical term for it right now. They're giving me potassium. They gave me iron. The iron apparently didn't take with me, or my body wasn't taking it. They had mentioned a blood transfusion in the ER. Initially, I denied it because I thought I had one at one point when I lived in Georgia, and the experience that I had afterwards was not a good one, and I had to end up going back to the hospital after they released me from what I thought was a blood transfusion. But after they mentioned it to me a couple more times, because my iron was so low, and they told me the procedure, I realized that what I went through in Georgia may not have been an actual blood transfusion. It had to have been something else, because in Georgia, they put me to sleep, and they were telling me during the blood transfusion, they don't put you to sleep. It's just through the IV. So I think it was something else that I went through in Georgia that made me feel some type of way when I was done. But anywho, so excuse me if I'm rushing, if I'm sounding kind of fast. I'm having a little bit of anxiety, and I'm just trying to get the story out. So like after the third or fourth time, I thought about it, and I was like, I need it because my energy and my body needs it. So I had originally signed a paper denying it, and then I signed a paper saying that I would get it. So they were like, don't worry, after the 15 minutes, if nothing happens, then you should be okay. It was kind of weird because you see it's blood red. Of course, it's blood, and it's somebody else's blood. You don't know where this blood is coming from. You're hoping that they inspected it well, cleaned it well, did all the tests on it well to make sure that you're receiving good blood. So the only thing that was weird about that was just seeing the red blood. So that went well. They initially had me on a fiber only diet or a fiberless diet because of course the diarrhea, hospital food is horrible. At this point, I still wasn't eating. I was mostly drinking like protein shakes. That was the only thing that I was able to not take and keep down, but that was the only thing that my body would want me to take or whatever. So I was mostly drinking protein shakes. So, regular hospital stays. I try to get some sleep. I sleep with earplugs, every 2, 3, 4 hours. They coming in, they're drawing blood. I don't understand why they have to draw blood so early in the morning. It's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and you coming in to draw my blood. Like, it's a whole process, I can understand the vital signs every 4 hours, but coming to draw your blood 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, is that the best time to get blood? Like what is it? Like, it can't wait until the actual morning time when you get up. I just don't get it. They stuck me so many places. I got stuck in my hand for blood. I got stuck here, here, and here. It was multiple times they was coming to get blood every day. Here on this arm, actually, I ended up getting a blood clot because they had to move the IV like 3 times. I had the IV here. One day I noticed that it was a little painful, and I looked at it and it was swollen a little bit. So, all right, guys, so I'm back with the continuation of my recent hospital stay. It's another day, life was life, and yesterday I wasn't able to finish the story. So after being poked and prodded and stool sample and urine sample, the infectious disease doctor said that apparently everything came back normal. I think they were still waiting on a few tests, but so far everything, there was no type of infection in my blood and things of that nature. Now, the gastroenterologist was, of course, concerned about the diarrhea that I was having and the pains in my stomach. So they decided that they wanted to do an endoscopy. And I was just like, while you guys are doing the endoscopy, can you just go ahead and do a colonoscopy and just look at everything, all together, since it's all connected. So I went in, I did the endoscopy, I did the colonoscopy, and it came back that I had ulcers again. I had ulcers in the rectal part of my colon. I had inflammation in my colon, and I also had still ulcers in my stomach area. So after that, a couple more days, I was in the hospital for a total of 10 days from March 11th to March 21st. That has been my longest hospital stay ever for my life. Anyways, so basically, they came back, they told me the news. They said they started me on some new medication, and they wanted me to, they wanted to take blood to send to California to see, to diagnose if it was ulcerative colitis. We are now in April 2nd, I believe. I have not heard back about that. I do have an appointment with the gastro on April 15th, so I'm hoping that they will shed light on those results. But anyways, so they started me on a medication for my stomach to treat it, and prednisone. I am very familiar with prednisone, being as though I had lupus. That was one of the first medications that was prescribed to me that made me blow up like a fish. I'm not a fan of it. I've been off of it for some years now, taking it intermittently, like for some skin issues that I was having, but on a regular basis, I've been off of it for some years now. So the gastro put me on a tapered prednisone. Start off with 40 for 7 days, 30, then 20, then 10. So during this period, I know that it's going to help my appetite, and it's going to help me gain weight. Right now it is April 2nd. I've been out of the hospital since March 21st. By the way, so after they kind of diagnosed me with the colitis, I went home like a day or two after that. I was eager to get home, eager to get in my bed, of course, eager to eat some food. So yeah, so as of leaving the hospital, I've kind of, sorry, my phone storage ran out. So taking time to, do devotion, journaling, not all staying in the house. I plan on having like a beach day, going to the park, taking walks, things to make myself better all around, especially health-wise. So pray for me during this time, Lord God, because I really feel like I'm being renewed. Like I just have a renewed spirit, a renewed state of mind, and I want to stay in that state of mind not only during this period, but after I go back to work. So just pray for me. Pray for my health. Pray for my mental, because as all my doctors have stated, I am a complicated case. I have so much going on with me mentally. I mean, not mentally, but medically, it's a lot. It has taken a toll on me. It has been taking a toll on me. I have not been working on it. I've been trying to, just work my way through it, but I can't anymore. I can't. I have to take some time to get myself better fully. So I'm asking for prayers at this time, and I'm excited to gain weight. I'm excited to be more healthy. I'm excited to be in a better state of mind. I've started therapy. I'm excited just to get back to me. So thank you for watching. There'll be some videos of my journey along the way, coming in the future. And I hope that you consider sharing, subscribing, liking, and that you will continue to watch. Thank you guys, and I will see you in my next video.